day. Welcome back. The Betting Public Sports Show here on YouTube. I'm your beloved host, named Rothstein, aka Michael Snackson, aka Bay O Wolf, aka Malcolm Excellence, aka Hacksaw Jim Thuggin. Today is Sunday, July 30th, 2023. It's about 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the beautiful, lovely Queen City, aka the Republic of Cincinnati. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really have any action today. Um, yeah, because like I said, it's just just too much going on, and football uh, is a good season as well for us. Football and baseball, just this baseball season, um, it's just been just too hectic, too much stuff going on, and pretty much it's pretty easy. All you can do is ride Atlanta out. You know, ride Atlanta out. You're looking for props. Ride Shotani's home run prop. Now Judge is back. Ride his home run prop out too. And yeah, but anyway, I'm not gonna hold you too long. Don't forget the sports betting tutorials be out August 16th. The college football preview will be out August 6th, 23rd. NFL tutorial will be out August 30th. Okay. Um, yeah, we'll do those on consecutive Wednesdays in August. All right. Yeah, because you're gonna need a tutorial. Some of you will anyway, especially if you're in Ohio. This is your first full football season. Sports betting being legal in Ohio, and I want to help my fellow Buckeyes. All right, but I want to help you too if you're not a Buckeye. All right, but yeah, I'm not gonna hold you too long. We're just gonna talk a little shit about the fight last night. As you know, uh, what was supposed to be a Titanic um, welterweight duel between Errol Spence and uh, Bud Crawford, Terence Bud Crawford, was a complete ass whooping. Crawford whooped his ass completely. It was a TKO in what, the eighth or ninth or something like that for Bud. You know, I mean, like, he was just slapping him around. It was painful to watch, honestly, because Spence had nothing for him. Um, and I don't know why that is, because as you know, Errol Spence, you know, I thought he was going to be like the next Sugar Ray. You know, handsome fighter, pause, don't start coming to me with that bullshit. You become a star. Ain't no ugly stars, okay? In no sport. Only one that was ugly was Mike Tyson. That's because he was just so ferocious, such a box office draw. Little short, thick nigga knocking everybody the fuck out. You had to watch that. He becomes a star. You know, Shaq, so much bigger than everybody, but he's fun and non-threatening. You know, he becomes a star. But you know, usually to be a star in any sport, you have to be a handsome fella. Errol Spence is a handsome fella. You know, and he and you know, lightweight favors a little Sugar Ray Leonard in the face a little bit, and it was just painful to watch him get his ass whooped like that by Bud, who you know, I guess I can call one dude handsome. I guess I can call another dude, you know, slightly, I don't know, below average. I don't know. I'm just talking about star quality and things like that. I ain't trying to date these niggas and shit like that. All right, but but yeah, man. You know, because as you know, Spence was what? He was 28-0 going into the fight, so he was what, 26, 25 in a row. 2019 had to fight with Sean Porter. Sean Porter, now looking back, Sean Porter, you know what I'm saying, kind of gave him a little work. Now that you look back on it and think about it, you know, there was a reason why he kind of whooped on him. Well, you know, Porter kind of brought him until late, the like the 10th or 11th when Spence dropped him, caught him slipping, and so that was September of 2010 and or 2019, and then a month later, or about around that, sometime in the next month, October 10th, Spence has a car wreck. Whatever, I think he was driving some sports car. I want to say a Porsche or something. One car wreck. He was injured for a little while and whatnot. Couldn't fight. Some fights got delayed and whatnot. So he comes back and he fights Danny Garcia. Supposed to be that would have been that seemed like it would have been a great test. It was a great test for him to test himself. Garcia isn't the best 147, but he damn sure ain't a bum. And he's gonna give you work because he ain't a punk. And I think Spence like kind of rocked him in like the early in that fight. Sometime in the first 3 rounds, he rocked him, and Garcia never really was able to get it going after that. And Spence didn't stop him. Went to the cards. Spence unanimous, I believe. And okay, then the next fight I forgot when, but he fought Ugas. Maybe a year later, a year and a half later after fighting Garcia, he fights Ugas, and Spence washes him. So we're like, yeah, it's gonna be a good old. We ain't seen Bud Crawford in forever fighting. One of his last fights, Gamboa rocked him, had him in the middle of the ring. You know what I'm saying? And granted, every fighter gets rocked, but not by necessarily lesser competition. Now if before somebody says that first dude who dropped Roy Jones Jr. Okay, yeah, one-offs happened too. You know what I'm saying? But then we found out that Roy, I like the way Bernard Hopkins said it, like on New York radio back in like 2005. He's like, maybe Roy never really had a chin. Nobody could just touch him. But anyway, not the dude that knocked him out, but the dude that dropped him. I forget his name. It was on HBO fight. Then Roy came to watch him. But anyway, Gamboa had Bud fucked up, middle of the ring. Bud comes back and wins it and whatnot. So we watching this fight last night, and then Spence come out after the first round. I thought he clearly won the first, but after that, I don't think he won another one. At best, he could help look for was a draw in any of those rounds after that. Like, dude, just broke him apart and like KRS-One. Shout out to Chris Parker, brother Kenny, ICU, all the BDP. He broke him down to his very last compound. Crawford did. Broke him down. From the second round on to the end of the fight. Like, one of the rounds, second or third, the fight doctor's checking Spence's eye and shit. Like, what is this? Like, you ain't got no cut, power, no nothing. And Bud was clearly the stronger fighter. Seriously, it was really painful to watch. It wasn't even a good fight. He just, you got to give credit to Bud. That was, and the truth be told, that's why, as you know, I normally give sports betting advice. I stayed out of this one because I didn't know. Because the worst thing, because I was thinking the worst case scenario for Spence is that Bud fights him left-handed. Because Bud can go he can go orthodox, he can go southpaw. And Bud came out and fought the whole fight southpaw. And I knew that would give trouble to Spence because much like Spence gets an advantage when he fights most other fighters, don't see many southpaws. So the angles and the timing and everything is going to be different. And I think that fucked up Spence. Just think about it. Your little league pitcher, he's 10, 12 years old. He's out there throwing. He's left-handed, but he's the one that gets you. Where the other team doesn't score much. Why? Because they don't see many lefties. 70% of the world is right-handed, right? So yeah. So I think that threw Spence off, and somehow Spence looked really slow. like Street Fighter niggas slow. Like, did you not? Did you not know that Bud was good? Like something he said after the fight that his timing was off. Maybe it was, but I noticed he looked really, really slow for a professional main event uh, pay-per-view fight boxing match. He looked really slow. I mean, really slow. Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of weird to say it looked like he just had the car wreck. That's how slow he looked. Like he just had the car wreck now, not back in 2019, 4 years ago. Like he just had it like last month. He up there, jab trying to, bring a left behind it. That same old two step. It wasn't working. Like what did y'all train? But again, shout out to Bud. Shout out to Bud. You gotta support him. You gotta respect it. I've never seen somebody get their ass whooped like that. I've never seen, but to spin it positively, for Bud, I've never seen somebody just whoop somebody's ass like that on pay per view. In a pay per view fight of the main event, just off the top, I can't think of that. I mean, I've seen plenty of televised boxing matches. Uh, you know, Floyd Mayweather and Gotti, Arturo Gotti. Uh, Roy had a couple. Roy and Vinny Pazienza. Roy, some of his earlier fights. That dude got his hands behind his back and dropped seat. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that I've seen that were on TV. You know, um, that were on TV that were that one decided, but not in a main event of a pay per view. I cannot just off the top of my head. If you remember any, let me know. Hit it in the comments. Tell me because I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, very disappointed in Spence. But as you seen after, but that's what I mean about being a star. You see his post-fight interview, just the energy. Not that he was tired energy. I don't mean that. Just like he's not energetic. Like he's just not that big personality that boxers usually have that make them, famous. Because it's a one-on-one sport. You're allowed to talk a little shit. Everybody's okay with that, as long as you back it up, of course. But everybody's okay with it because boxer, you don't have a teammate. It's just you out there in that circle. So your Ali's, your Roy Joneses, your Mike Tysons, your Floyds. This is why these guys were top of the food chain because not only were they ass kicking motherfuckers, they had big personalities. Bud doesn't. He's gonna be one of these guys who get lost in the sauce of the history of boxing because nobody will remember him, even though he's a hell of a fighter. Okay, who else is there? Yeah, I mean, like Larry Holmes dominated the heavyweight division right after Ali. First got it dominated, and he had the little issue with Spinks. So I forgot how many years he was. He was 48-0 or 47-0, something like that. That when he lost to Spinks, as good as he was, just wasn't a big personality. But he's got as good a jab as Ali's ever had. But he just wasn't a big personality. Yeah, I mean, Thomas Hearns wasn't like the biggest personality. But he had one and he talked a little shit. And you talk about the kings of boxing, two of them knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? Now he knocked the shit out of Duran. Don't get it twisted. That was, you know what I'm saying? But you talk about the kings of Hagler. Hagler understood the big personality. He had to do it. That's why he changed his name from his legal first name is Marvelous Marvin Hagler. That's his legal name. Nobody would call him Marvelous. Why? Probably because he didn't have a big personality like that to be called that. So he legally changed his name to Marvelous as his first name. And so they had to call him Marvelous Marvin Hagler. after a certain time, right? That's what I need. I need Bud needs to. I mean, he might just be cool where he is. You know what I'm saying? Sweet Pea. What's your band's name? De La Hoya. These were personality guys. Um, Along with their game. Evander Holyfield. That church shit he was doing. You know, yeah, that was a part of the personality, the package that you get with Evander. You know, coming out the gospel, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Riddick Bowe, all these, all your great champions always had big personality. Right now, Bud doesn't. And if he comes out doing it now at 35, it's gonna be so disingenuous. You know, so he's gonna be, son of God, Andre Ward type of guy, a guy that unless you're a true boxing purist, you won't remember him. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a brother, who watches boxing. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, he don't know who Son of God is, or vaguely remembers him, or can vaguely tell you about him. But he remembers those guys from the '90s, Shane and Roy. My brother's older than me. I'm saying I guarantee you remembers Ali and tell you about him too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah. So that's all I got. That's just what I noticed about the fight last night, and like the main thing being that Bud whooped his ass. I mean, really shot Bud. That was one of the best performances ever. Whooped that boy's ass real bad. And not only did he do that, took 3 belts from him or whatever. They both talking about going to 154. But Bud, um, the post fight, it just didn't really just like, Adrian Broner, big personality, just doesn't fight as well to match it. But you get what I'm saying, in recent times anyway. Because I know a couple boxers that say Broner's a Hall of Famer, so respect to that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. And Spence, brother, maybe that car crash from 4 years ago finally caught up to you. I don't know, but I've never seen somebody look that bad. Maybe Bud did it to you, but I thought you looked a little slow. Uh, I've been that slow in street fights before. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't look right, bro. Um, so yeah, man, I'm gonna hop off of here. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and do your thing. It's getting up on 20 minutes. So, but don't forget, like, subscribe, leave comments on this show, on this channel. Okay. 2, don't forget the NFL and college football and sports betting tutorials will be in August, starting August 16th, on the 16th, 23rd, and 30th. Okay. So look out for those. All right. But that's all I got. Like, subscribe, leave comments, and I'll be back with action, in August on video. But I still do the audio podcast, Fame Rothstein Sports Investing Show. Spotty right now, but it'll be regular once football season comes back. All right, and leave comments here. All right, and I'll holler at you. Until then, everybody, be well. Peace.